This is the Carl Boyle Galway International Rally 2019, the first round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship and round 2 of the historic series. And this is where we look at the action in the national and the various classes contesting the 9-stage one-day event in Galway as it makes its return to the championship after a year's absence. We'll be looking at the various modified classes running in this year's event, including not only the modifieds, but the historics, Group N and Junior Series as well. The Galway International Rally is back.
We are here in Galway for the opening round of the 2019 Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. It is shaping up to be a very exciting event with strong competitors across the various categories. I'll be bringing you all of the action from the national and historic section throughout the programme.
Thanks, Avril. Well, the drivers found conditions tricky with a mixture of dry, wet and muddy surfaces across the opening loop of 3 stages. But one man dancing his way across the prevailing wet surfaces was Donegal's Damien Taurus. And after the opening 3 stages, his Ford Escort led the national category by 27.2 seconds.
Damien, you are getting on very, very well out there. Are the conditions as treacherous as they're saying out there?
That first stage is very treacherous, but the other two's not too bad, so no, enjoying it.
Second after 3, Damien Toner and Mick Cody in the Escort. The gap between Tourish and Toner kept opening up. 2.2 after 1, 17.6 after 2, and now 27.2 after 3. A further 26 seconds behind Toner was the Mark II of Tom Flaherty and Martin Flynn, who at least had the satisfaction of being the top local crew after the opening loop of 3.
Tom, local man here today, you're lying 3rd in the national.
Yeah, we're lucky to be 3rd now with a few spins on that last stage, so we're going well. We want to try and win the cup here, the local Galway Cup, the Thornton Cup, so that's what we're going for.
Stephen Hernan and Jeff Case were 6th after the opening 2 stages, but they had a good run over 3, and the Impreza was now 4th in the national standings, just 9.1 seconds off Tom Flaherty. Richard and James Whelan were 5th in their BMW, but still had a lot to play for, as they were less than 2 seconds off Hernan's Subaru.
Richard, one of the top Galway men here today in the BMW. You're lying 5th overall.
That's right, yeah. No, it's really slippy conditions out there now at the minute. So we hit a wall already in the last stage, and we caught Paul Barrett there in the second stage. So it dropped us a good bit of time. So hopefully now with the next loop we can certainly pick it up.
So you have a few changes to make then.
Yeah, a few changes to make. She's a bit wandering the back, but I'm sure the lads will sort that out. But other than that, perfect. Enjoying it, yeah, really am.
Brian Brady and Sean Collins were the early leaders of an intense Class 11F battle. Brady is a former national junior champion. He was 4th in modified after 2, and now 6th in the Honda Civic after 3. Gary McNamee and Darren O'Brien were 2nd in 11F and 10th in the national standings in the Civic. McNamee is a former national junior champion and the current Tarmac junior champion.
Alright, we caught a car in the last stage, so we lost a bit of time and we overshot in the first one, so I'll have to try and make up the places and get back up the leaderboard now.
Just 2.6 seconds off McNamee were local driver David Quigley and navigator Des Sherlock in another Civic.
David, there is tough competition out there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary McNamee and Brian Brady are on a serious pace, and the fairly Walrus in the first stage. But we got back in the second stage. I think Brian was fastest, we were 2nd, and Gary 3rd. And I think we were faster in the last one now. But we had a bit of a moment in the last one, lost a couple of seconds down a drain. So things are good now. It's very slippy. I think it'll be a finisher's rally, to be honest,
Next through, the Toyota Corolla of Columba Hina and Stephen Joyce. They were 7th overall, and they also led the Class 13 battle. David Condell and Paul Kelly were 8th after 3 in the Escort and 1.4 seconds off Hina. Condell from Carlow has forestry experience, serving him well on the muddy sections, but mechanical issues eventually forced him into Rally 2. Next to Conor Waters and Shane O'Donnell, the Donegal crew struggling for grip in the escort. Brian Brogan and Damien McGettigan, yet another Donegal crew, caught out a few times in the tricky conditions. Thumbs up, a smart pirouette, and off they went. Now onto the action on special stages 4, 5 and 6, the second loop. Damien Taurus and co-driver Donald McElhenney increased their lead. It now stood at over a minute. Barring an off or mechanical trouble, Taurus was likely to be untouched over the remaining 3 stages. Damien Toner had no answer to Taurus's pace, and with little or no pressure coming in from behind, the runners-up slot was looking like Toner's lot in Galway with 3 to go.
I'll let him go on ahead. He's taking time off every stage, so I'll just go for second now, hopefully.
The conditions out there are absolutely treacherous.
They're serious slippy. It's just gutters everywhere, but all them cars pulling back out. But stay steady, I know, and try and get to the end.
There was a change though behind the top 2 crews. Richard and James Whelan pushed their BMW up to third, 55.7 seconds off Toner. The brothers were now the top local crew in Galway. Tom Flaherty was third after 5, but he was passed by Whelan on stage 6 to lie in 4th place in the national category, 15.9 seconds off 3rd place, now with 3 stages to run. Columba Hina and Stephen Joyce has slipped to 7th at the end of stage 5 in their Toyota Corolla, but they were 5th now after 6, 16.5 seconds off Flaherty. Sadly, Stephen Hernan retired his Impreza with mechanical trouble on stage 6. Bad luck for himself and co-driver Jeff Case, who were only 0.2 of a second off 3rd after 5 stages. Before we look at the remaining stages for the top modified drivers, these were some of the class winners in Galway, and the Class 9 victors, Patrick Messer and Natalie Messer in the Peugeot 205. Class 10 went to the Honda Civic of Aidan Doyle and Damien Doyle. It was a heck of a battle in 11F. 3rd was Gary McNamee and Darren O'Brien. A mishap on the second loop saw McNamee slip to 3rd and miss out on the class win by just 1.1 seconds. Second, Brian Cody and Sean Collins having to settle for second, just 0.3 of a second off the Class 11F winner, which was David Quigley and Des Sherlock. A strong finish saw Quigley take the class win on home soil by 0.3 of a second in his Honda Civic. Winner of Class 12 in the Ford Escort Mark II were James Cassidy and Donald Lennon. On to Class 13, the pristine Mark II Escort of local driver Dylan Donoghue, backed by event sponsor Corrib Oil, had a big off on stage 2. He got to the finish, but no longer looking quite so pristine. And the Class 13 winners, Columba Hina and Stephen Joyce, the Donegal crew, having a great drive in the Toyota Corolla. In Class 14, Tom Flaherty and Martin Flynn in the Mark II Ford Escort missed out on a trophy for the top local crew, but at least takes the Class 14 honours. Former national champion Ray Breen and Podge New, his co-driver, were out in the Metro 6R4 and they won Class 15. This is the car that Craig Breen and Paul Nagel double-O'd in at the Killarney Historic Stages Rally last December. On to Class 20, and here's the local crew of Pat Kelly and Jonathan Kelly. They were debuting the Ford Fiesta on the event, but after a few mishaps, they eventually retired, which meant that Class 20 went to the Skoda S2000 of Conor McCrossan and David Burns. Victory for the local crew of Matty Keane and Declan Sliver in the Honda Civic in Class 22. On to the keenly contested junior class, and 3rd Keane Walsh and Eddie Doherty in their rear-wheel drive Toyota Corolla. In 2nd, just 2.8 seconds ahead of Keane Walsh, Shane Norris and Cathal Keane in their Honda Civic. Victory in the junior class though to Michael Cahill and Paul Curran in the Honda Civic. They had 2 minutes and 36 seconds to spare over Norris and Keane. On to the historic class now. David Goose and Brian Quinlan had been pushing their Ford Escort RS 1800 for the class win, but bowed out after a few mishaps on the middle loop, and this spin certainly didn't help their cause. And the top three in historics, the Ford Escort RS 1600 of Craig McWilliam and Trevor Hamilton. Second in historics, George Cullen and Charlie McHenry in their Ford Escort RS 1800. But a dominant display in his home event by Ray Cunningham and Adrian Cusack in the Morris Cooper S. They won the historic section by nearly 2 minutes.
Car's working really well. Probably it's a little bit suited out there, you know, because the big cars can't get the big power down, so we don't have so much power, but we're using every bit of it.
On to the very important front-wheel drive R2 class in third home, Jonathan Mulholland and Charles Gallagher in the Ford Fiesta. In second place, Eamon Kelly and Conor Moen. While the winners, no surprise really, William Crichton and Liam Regan in the Peugeot 208. On to Group N, or the showroom category, and third were Andrew Burke and Colin Keegan, a local crew who'd switched from a Citroën DS3 to Mitsubishi Evo 10 for this event. Second, William Mavety and Andrew Brown in the Mitsubishi Evo 9, Mavety the defending champion from the past 2 years. And they were pipped by the Welsh crew of Andy Davis and Michael Gibney in the Subaru Impreza. Davies only ever did gravel rallies before, so Galway was a baptism of fire, and they loved every minute of it. And to the top three in the Nationals, third place went to Galway crew of Richard and James Whelan in the BMW, who achieved one of the best results in their local rally to date, taking home the bragging rights for the top local crew. Damien Taurus was delighted with second in the treacherous conditions. The top two held the top two positions all the way through the day, with some very brave driving in testing conditions. And the winner of the national category for 2019 in Galway, Damien Taurus, an impressive winner in his Ford Escort with over a minute to spare over the similar car of Toner. He led from start to finish, a great start to the national category championship for Taurus.
Great, Damien. All the way from Donegal. It was well worth your while coming here today.
I had a good day, not a good day's crack, sliding about in the mud, but no, I enjoyed it, it was good.
There was great battles here all day. You can join us in West Cork for the next round of the championship. From all of us here at the Clayton Hotel and On The Limit Sports, thank you so much for watching. See you soon.
Overall, despite the inclement conditions, it was great to see Galway back and a great start to the 2019 championship for the national or modified classes. And there's more to come, no doubt, over the remaining 6 rounds as the series now heads for the West Cork Rally in March.